Hello YouTubers, it's the Pipe Freaks back again with another edition of the Aged Briar Trail.
Hey YouTubers, you know, it's time for hot air or hot smoke to end. So, I said last night to hang with me on these aged wooden diamonds, and we're moving ahead. Now, thank you very much everybody for the interest and support. It's greatly appreciated. Now, I said I was working on these pipes, and we have to keep one thing in mind. Now, this may be a little difficult to internalize because I have a certain philosophy on restoring and refurbishing pipes. Now, I take this from museum conservation, art conservation, and antiques conservation. You bring the vintage object back to usable or presentable and acceptable condition, but you don't go beyond that point. In other words, they're not bright, slick, shiny. The point is, it's a vintage object. You don't make it look new. You try to preserve the charm, the history, particularly the history of the piece. So in that end, I don't use power tools to polish, to clean, or anything else. So I'm going to discuss these methods. Basically, folks, this is art conservation. It's conservation of antiques. We want to preserve the history, tradition, and charm of these things because they really are treasures. So I'm going to work, I've been working on a group of these. People have asked me, how many of these I have in the drainage pipe. So these are some of them that I've been working on. I was working on them today. Now, I have, remember, the pipe from hell. Now, keep in mind, this video may go to a couple of parts because I really do have a lot to say and I want to show you a lot. Now, you remember the pipe from hell. It's a Peterson, the Peterson system with the particular Peterson stem. Now, I'm working on a very beautiful aged Briar Savinelli. Briar's over 100 years old. Dense, beautiful. But, the Peterson system is vulnerable, that bit is vulnerable to damage from teeth. Unlike the regular flat stem, the thing sticks up. And you get a lot of tooth action on them, and you have to basically really resculpt it. So I'm going to show you a before and after on this. Right
it's
now.
like the P-lip. It's like the Peterson P-lip, but it's
right.
Savinelli.
So now let me show you something. Okay, we have the pipe from hell. See what that looks like? Okay, now I just worked on this one this afternoon. See the difference? Now, the one in here, the Savinelli, looked just like this before I started the work on it. Look at that. See the way it looks? This is Savinelli.
No, I'm not even finished.
Okay, and I didn't finish this. This is still in the works. It looked, folks, just like this. See the tooth mark on it? Okay.
Yeah.
You look at the back. Okay. See, you can see that it has been, see the tooth mark on the back? I hope you can. And, look, see, this is what it looks like. Now, this is done by hand. Okay. It's done with hand tools, and this is the result that I got. So I hope you can see the difference here between these two. Now, on a normal bit, okay, normal stem, okay, let me show you the difference. Now, this one, okay, let me switch hands so, we're not confusing it. Okay, this one looked just like this one. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, this one looked just like this one. See the difference? But notice the low sheen. It's not a brilliant polish. It's a sheen. See? Look. It's almost like a satin.
It's a soft
soft look. And I had a very good friend of mine who was an armorer at the Tower of London. His name was Kit Ravenshear. And he was an ultimate authority on 17th and 18th century and fine antique firearms. And he started advising people in muzzleloading in the 1980s. I do build muzzleloading guns, by the way. And on how to create good, not reproductions, but basically 18th century firearms in the old ways. And he talked about the British use a term called setup. Okay, it's the assemblage of parts and the finishing, the way things are finished and they're done. Now, he said the old way, the setup, wasn't all, and he said all square. Not all polished, not all square. The wood had a low luster to it, and the metal, and things weren't perfectly, they basically showed the irregularities and charm of hand workmanship. Now, the Trinity East pipe, where's the Trinity East pipe? Where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, sorry about that. Now, I restored this piece. This is a Trinity East, okay? You've seen this pipe before. No, that's not good. Let me show it to you. See the soft luster of the wood? Look at that. It's a satin finish. See the bit? Looks just like the bit that I did this afternoon, okay? It's a soft luster. Okay, now I'll show you the 7 bit. Okay, the 7 bit. See, it looks like that. Look, see? It's not really polished. Now, what we're looking at, basically, sorry about that, we're dealing with the restoration or conservation of antiques. We want to preserve the charm, and we don't want to eradicate or erase the history of the piece by bringing it back to what we think was factory new condition. There's nothing wrong with that. And don't get me wrong. Many people restore antiques, restore antique firearms, restore antique vintage automobiles. Furniture to quote-unquote showroom new or quote-unquote factory new condition. That's fine. We're dealing in the realm of personal taste. And there's no realm that is a bastion of personal taste like pipe smoking. With spins your top, spins your top. I mean, you're up close and personal, unlike, maybe a piece of antique chair that you sit in, okay, or an antique table that you sit and you eat at. But other than that, the pipe is a very personal experience. It's very tactile. It's almost a metaphysical experience. So my philosophy is I want to preserve as much of the personality of the previous owners. They're important. They bought the piece, they smoked it, it was part of them, they enjoyed it, and for whatever reason, the piece has passed out of their hands and down to us. So I like, and I guess it's a metaphysical thing, with these old pieces, I like to feel the original owners. I like to feel the charm and the history of the piece. So when I restore them or do conservation work on them, I try to preserve as much of the original character and charm of the piece as possible.